Okay, so measure of position, which is the quartiles, Q1, Q2, and Q3. But the Q2 is also known as the median. So actually, to find the measures of position for group data, it is just like to find the median, which is we have two ways, that is using the formula, and also we can use the or give to find the quartiles for the group data. So when we talk about the group data, you can imagine our data represent in a table. Okay, the table that have two column, which is the first column is the classes, which is our variable, and then the second column will be the frequency. Okay, so our classes. Okay, so we want to know we want to know the quartiles contained in which classes and what is the value of the quartile. Okay, so we go to the first method using the formula. Okay, so like I said just now, in the group data, okay, we have the table, and then we have the classes column, and we have the frequency column. And then in order to use the formula, you need to create another column, which is cumulative frequency column. Why? Because of if you can see this, if you observe this formula, untuk dapatkan Q1, it is L1, which is the lower limit for the first quartile class. Okay, plus n over 4, n adalah number of observation ataupun total of the frequency, minus fm minus 1 here adalah cumulative frequency before the first quartile class. Okay, we need the value of cumulative frequency. Because of that, we need to create another column, which is the column of cumulative. Okay, and then we also need to know which classes containing the first quartile. So because of that, we need another column untuk nak cari position of the data. Okay, so before that, nak cari quartile mana yang berada, which classes contain the Q1. Okay, we need to find the position of the data. Untuk Q1 and Q3 kat sini, dia punya method ni untuk Q1 and Q3. So to find the position for Q1, it is n over 4. Position for Q3 is 3n over 4. Okay, ini position for Q1. This one to find the position for Q3. Kita nak tahu Q3 berada di classes yang mana. Okay, so kena cari dulu position. It is like how you find the median before this kan. You kena cari dulu which classes containing the median. So method dia sama. Cuma sekarang ni untuk dapatkan position for Q1, it is n over 4. Position untuk Q3, 3 over 4 multiply n. Okay, so look at the formula here. L1 lower limit of the first quartile class. So kena cari dulu first quartile berada di classes yang mana. Okay, and then kena cari cumulative frequency, and then here F1 adalah frequency of the first quartile class multiply dengan C. C adalah class size. Okay, remember how to find the class size, which is the difference of the class boundaries, which is the upper boundaries minus dengan lower boundaries. Ini formula untuk Q1. Untuk Q3 pula, formula yang sama sebenarnya, cuma bezanya dekat sini kalau L3 kat sini adalah lower limit juga untuk the third quartile class. Okay, tadi untuk first quartile class, L3 here lower limit for the third quartile class. Because of that lah tadi, first of all we need to know which classes containing Q1 and Q3 because of we want to put down the lower limit. Okay, and then 3n divided by 4 minus fn minus 1 here adalah cumulative frequency before the third quartile class. Okay, So because of that, we need to know which classes containing the Q3. Okay, and then divide dengan F3 multiply dengan C. Okay, and then for your information, this formula will be given in exam. So no need for you to memorize the formula, but still you need to know how to use the formula. Okay, you need to know what is L3, what is F3, how to find that from your table. Okay, let's say this is our group data table, frequency table for group data. Okay, the variable here adalah age. Okay, the number of students in a school according to age. Okay, age of the student that read the Women Weekly magazine. So our variable adalah age during the first week of December in 2004. So kita punya variable adalah age. Kat sini dia dah buat dia punya boundaries, lower boundaries dan juga upper boundaries. Sebenarnya dia punya data ni, it looks like this lah, data dia will be, I put as X more than or equal to 10, less than 12, X more than or equal to 12, less than 14 and so on. Okay, so ini data dia, rupa dia punya data age inilah sebenarnya. And then we create the upper boundaries and lower boundaries. This is the class boundaries dia. The class boundaries. So seems that this data containing the overlapping value kan, 10 to 12, 12 to 14 and so on. Okay, so from here, okay, so from here we have the class boundaries will be 10, 12, 12, 14 until 18 to 20. So the column here adalah column of the frequency, and then as I said just now, we need to create another column which is the cumulative frequency column. Here will be 0, here will be 5, 15, 35. I believe that all of you biar apa ni, dah pernah buat kan, how to find the cumulative frequency. So 55, is it true? 0, 5, 15, 35, 85, 145. Okay, so the value of the cumulative frequency last kali 145 ni should be the total of the frequency. So you can check again this 145. Alright, and then we need another column sebab nak cari position of data. Okay, remember during you find the value of the median before this, the same step. You need to find the position of data. Okay, sorry, 1 to 5. It is 6, right? 6 to 15 for this column, 16 to 35, 36 to 85, and 86 until 145. Means that 1 to 5 here containing the first data until the fifth data. Okay, data yang pertama dan yang kelima berada di classes yang pertama. Data yang ke-6 sehingga 15 berada di classes yang kedua. So from here we can know which classes containing our Q1 and Q3. So we find the position of Q1. Okay, position of Q1 will be, which is, and divided by 430 will be 145 divided by 4. It is 36.25. Okay, 36.25. So which row containing 36.25? Okay, let's say here. Okay, here, right? The classes yang keempat, which is 16 until 18. 16 until 18, containing our Q1. So, position of Q1, kita tengok dekat position of data. Okay. Tadi kita dapat 36.25. So, observe here which interval that contain 36.25. So, kita nak cari Q1. Ini baru cari position. Untuk dapatkan value of Q1. Value of Q1 ni kita ambil daripada variable. Variable kita age. So, kita nak dapatkan the Q1. So, Q1 for this data, for this age, should be somewhere here daripada interval 16 until 18, maybe 16.5, maybe 16.8, we don't know. We can calculate that. Okay, let's see the formula. So nanti using the formula tadi kita akan ada L1, kena tahu dia punya lower limit, kena tahu dia punya frequency, and also we need to know the cumulative frequency before the class containing Q1, right? So let's see the formula. Okay, this formula. So L1 adalah 16, which is the lower limit tadi kan, classes 16 until 18. So dia punya lower limit will be 16 plus K145 divided by 4 minus cumulative frequency before the first quartile class. Okay, our first quartile class tadi adalah 16 to 18. So dia punya cumulative frequency before that is 35. So here will be 35 divide dengan frequency of the first quartile class. Tengok dia punya frequency, it is 50 tadi. And then the class size adalah upper boundaries minus dengan lower boundaries, which is 18 minus 16. It will be 2. Okay, and then you can solve this. Remember to solve in the bracket first and multiply. Barulah you boleh tambah. So 145 divided by 4 minus 35 over 50 multiply 2 and then plus dengan 16, you akan dapat 16.05. So the first quartile adalah, ini kita punya the final answer. First quartile adalah 16.25, which is dia punya berada di dalam interval the classes ni antara 16 hingga 18, dia punya Q1. So kita tahu kat mana apa value Q1. So it is 16.25. Kita dah kira using the formula tadi. Okay, tengok pula untuk Q3. The same method. First find the position dulu, which is 3n divided by 4. So it is 3 multiply 145 divided by 4. What you get? It is 108.75, which is here, right? Somewhere here, 108.75. So means that the last class here containing the Q3. Kita tak tahu Q3 ni berapa value dia from 18 until 20. So we can use the formula. Okay, so nak guna formula, we need this value, the frequency, and the cumulative frequency before the class containing Q3, which is 85. So the class tadi adalah 18 to 20. So dia punya lower limit adalah 18 plus 3n divided by 4. Okay, sorry. N tu akan buat 145 minus dengan cumulative frequency before the class containing mode. It is 85. Okay, divide dengan frequency tadi adalah 60. multiply dengan class size, sama je semua, which is 2. So the answer is 18.79. So the Q3 is 18.79, which is in this interval, these classes. So that is the way how you find the Q1 and Q3 using the formula. Okay, so kalau kita tengok dia punya table tadi ni kan, table ni adalah overlapping table, 10, 12, 12, 14. So dia punya class limit sama dengan class boundaries. But if you punya classes not overlapping classes, contohnya you punya classes buat kat sini, you punya class limit, okay, let's say you punya class limit 10 to 12, okay, 13 to 15 and so on. So dia punya class boundaries will be, okay, macam mana you kira? Okay, remember nak cari class boundaries, 12 plus 13, sorry, 13 kan, 13 minus 12 divide by 2. So dia punya class boundaries 0.5. So dia punya lower boundaries for the first class will be 10 kena minus dengan 0.5 and 12 kena plus dengan 0.5. The second one pula 13 kena minus dengan 0.5, which is 12.5, and then dia punya upper limit kena plus dengan 0.5 will be 15.5. So this is your class boundaries. Okay, so you akan gunakan this class boundaries kan, this class boundaries nak kira dia punya class size C tadi. Tapi untuk dapatkan L kan, L tadi lower limit ni, L3 lower limit of the quartile class, you kena ambil this column. Let's say kalau yang ni berada Q1 berada sini, so dia punya lower limit will be 10, but lower boundaries will be 9.5. Okay, upper boundaries will be 12.5. So kat sini value L3 di sini adalah lower limit. So you kena ambil dekat column ni. Okay, boundaries you akan buat, you akan gunakan, you will use the class boundaries untuk nak cari nilai C dan juga class size, dan juga when we are when we are want to draw the ogive, okay? Untuk nak draw ogive, you kena ambil the ogive will be your y-axis adalah cumulative frequency and the x-axis will be the upper boundaries, okay? Upper boundaries. So you akan ambil this value. Okay, upper boundaries, but start dengan mula-mula dia yang 0 tu adalah dia punya lower boundaries for the first classes, which is 9.5. Start dengan 9.5, the next one will be 12.5 and so on. Okay, remember? Okay, tapi kalau yang ni, kalau table yang ni, ini adalah overlapping, so sebab itulah dia punya class limit dengan class boundary sama. So kalau nak buat ogive, so the first kita start dengan 10, which is the first lower boundaries for the first classes. So start dengan 10, which is the cumulative-nya 0. Okay? So you punya ni will be start dengan y-nya 0, cumulative frequency, dan x-nya adalah 10. Start dengan 10. Okay, barulah 12, 14. Okay, remember? Okay, nak buat OGIF kena start di sini kosong ni, kena start dengan lower boundaries for the first class. Okay, the next one tu baru start dengan upper boundaries for the classes. Okay, so that is the way how you find the Q1 and Q3 using the formula. Okay, so after this, we will tengok pula how to use the OGIF to find the Q1 and Q3. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yang ni, I dah ada OGIF, so I gunakan this OGIF. From example 2.28, page 64, the variable before this adalah time taken to answer the quiz. Okay, so let's say now kita nak cari Q1 and Q3 for this data. Okay, so we will have here will be the ini 5 ni adalah lower boundary for the first classes. Okay, and then yang lain-lainnya adalah 5, 15, 20 ni adalah upper boundary for each classes. Okay, and then frequency here actually adalah cumulative frequency. Okay, so how to find the Q1 and Q3 using the OGIF? So first of all, kena cari dulu position. We need to find the position. Okay, kena cari dulu position of Q1. Okay, position of Q1, which is the n divided by 4. So this n here adalah 20. Kan? Kita tengok kat sini, cumulative frequency dia 20. So number of frequency, number of observation is 20 divided by 4. So you akan dapat position for Q1, which is 5. Okay, so 5 berada di sini frequency. So you drag using ruler. Make sure mesti using the ruler. And then from here, drag ke bawah, you akan dapat nilai Q1. So this is our Q1. Kat sini will be 15. Quite easy for this type of data because of the range maybe and dia punya frequency. Okay, so tengok pula untuk position for Q3, which is 3n divided by 4. So you akan dapat 3 multiply 20 divided by 4. So you will get 15. So this is 15. Quite lucky here, right? Because of the apa ni, dia punya scale tu tepat. So we drag ke bawah. And then this is our Q3, which is 25. So ini value yang kita nak. Ini adalah position yang kita cari before we find, sorry, here is Q3. Q3 is 25, Q1 is 15. That is the way how you find the Q1 and Q3 using the OGIF, but make sure you draw the OGIF properly. Kalau tak, the value yang you dapat will be differ. Okay. Alright. So that's all. And then of course lah, you need to know how to interpret the Q1 and Q3. So the interpretationnya sama macam sebelum ni untuk ungroup data. Cuma cara untuk you nak cara you nak cari the value saja berbeza for group data dan ungroup data. The interpretation will be the same. Right? So that's all.